So here's our 3 grating stimuli, and they're all presented on the same window. But let's say for our experiments we were testing, say, auditory visual integration or something like that, and the subject was in another room. And so they're in this soundproof room next door, but you want to have on your computer some update on how the experiment is going and just getting some feedback on how the participant is performing. So here, what we need to do is figure out a way of getting multiple windows. Not only multiple windows, but multiple windows on multiple screens. How do we do that? Well, let's get out of this first. Let's just think about the problem. You know, we want multiple windows, okay, each with different, information, for instance, on different screens. Not screen itself, just different screens. So let's think about the general process on how we create our stimuli. So step 1, we create a window and name it something. Now, we can create multiple windows. Up until now, we've just created the one window. And if we have a look down on our code here, we've called it Win0. We could create 5 windows. We could create 10 windows if we want. If each of those windows have a different name, like what we've done here, have a look here, Win1, it's another visual.window. If we if we use different names, we can now flip them to different screens, different monitors. How do we do that? Well, remember, we've got the screen parameter here. So this is screen 0, that's screen 1. So if I wanted to present some stimulus to next door in the soundproof room, and let's say that was an external monitor and that was called screen 1, then I would just set that to screen 1. And that information, when I flip it from the memory onto the screen, it's not this screen, it's now going to be that screen, or the screen that is called number 1. Today, OBS is only capturing this window here. Okay, I've got a monitor here to my left, but we'll just do everything on this one monitor here. So let's go back up here. So we create the window first, and then what's the next step is we create the stimuli, right? Stimulus, or remember, stimuli. Again, if we name it separately, or if we want a drifting grating and a square grating, or in your experiment, let's say you wanted some text feedback on your screen, but on your subject's screen next door, you only want to present, say, the visual stimulus or a combination of visual stimuli and sound, whatever you want to do. Okay, you've named them separate things, you just have to draw them to the different windows, and we'll go through that in a little bit. So we create the stimulus, step 3, or stimuli, okay, again, name them differently. Step 3, we draw the stimulus to the window, or using the window name. And then step 4, we then flip the window to the screen. So this is the process that we're going to be following. So step 1, we create a window. So we've got 2 windows here. We've got Win0, and we just define those parameters. We then have Win1, and I have just used the same parameters. So they're both going to be 800 by 600. Now this is going to be a bit big for this monitor here, from here to here. So let's just drop this down to say 400 by 400. We'll make them 2 square windows. Oops, I missed that one. They're both going onto this screen. We're not calibrating any of our stimuli, and we'll both have them grey, and they'll both use the same pixels as their units. So we've done step 1. Now step 2, we create the stimuli. So here's our stimuli down here. We've got our grating stimulus. That's going to Win0. Good. And it's the circle. Let's make that appear in the middle of the window. Size is 200. That should be okay. Let's get rid of this one, these 2 here, because we're just going to create 2 windows here, and I'll we'll create different stimuli for each of those. So we'll get rid of those two, so we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of those because they don't exist anymore. So here we are going to update some parameters, for instance, if that's what we want to do. And then here we will draw the stimulus to the window. And then here, we will flip the window to the screen. So this is the general process that we're going to go through. So we do still have this one, so that should work, that should work. This is being drawn to Win0. Okay, that's fine. Now, what's our second stimulus? So create another stimulus. So we've done grating stimulus a little bit, a lot. Well, let's do a circle again. So we'll do a circ stim. And we'll just populate this with a minimum set of parameters. We need to tell it to what window we want to put it onto. So here we don't want the same window, we want it on a separate window. We've already used the Win0, so we'll put it onto this window. So Win1. We'll make it, let's say 200 pixels in radius. We need to set the color of the circle, so we'll put the fill color, we'll make it black, and the line color we'll also make black. Yeah, we can set this to whatever we want. What else do we need? We need the radius to set edges. We'll give it 128 edges. And the other thing, let's just drop this down underneath. And the other thing that we need is to set the units also to pixels. So we've got setting it to window, the other window, the radius, the fill color, the line color, the edges, the units. Okay, so we've now done step 2 for the second stimulus. Now we need to draw this stimulus to its window. So we're not going to update any parameters. What we're going to do here is we're going to say circ stim.draw. And when we do the draw function, it's going to draw it onto its appropriate window. And then we need to flip both the screen window, both the windows onto the screen. We've only done the first one. We now need to do the second one. And so here, hopefully, if we've done everything right, we've satisfied the programming guides, we should get 2 windows. On the first window, we should get the grating, and on the second window, we should get the circle. So there's the circle. Let's have a look behind here. There is our grating. Okay. So this is window 1. Sorry, this is window 0. Let's put that there. Let's put that here. So this is window 0, and we are drawing to window 0 the circle grating stim. Okay, Win0. Let's pull this back up, and that's it there, and it's updating. And here is our circle. Now, let's have a look at what's actually happening here. We'll close both of those down. We're actually flipping both of those, so we're actually updating both windows at the same time. And if we start using lots of windows, and we update lots of windows, and we do lots of parameter changes, then we might start bogging down our CPU usage, and our program may become quite unresponsive. So we have to be a little bit careful about just how many objects we are changing and presenting to the screen at any one time. That radius is a bit big. Let's drop that down again. And let's change the color. Let's now make it, I don't know, this color. Just to show you that we can change each of these independently. So remember, I only changed the fill color here. I did not change, so the fill color was changed, the line color was not changed. So here we've got a really nice, what's that, yellowy color, orangey color. Okay, so here, this is, let's get out of that. So this is multiple windows. You just create another window object. We've got multiple stimuli. Here, you just, the first parameter you do is you just assign it to the window that you want to put it on. And now if we want it on the other screen, for instance, Okay, you can now just say, I want Win0. In this case, it's going to be the grating stimulus. I want that to appear on the external monitor or whatever screen number that you want it to appear on. So we can go to screen 1. Now, if I do this, you're not going to be able to see this because screen 1 is here, and I'm just using the webcam on the computer here, so I can see it. It's presenting it now, okay? And it's updating here, whereas you can only see this one here, okay? So that's essentially what we do, and we haven't closed up, we haven't tidied up, so whenever we create it, we also want to tidy up right at the end. That's it. It's as simple as that. We'll leave this one here.